Hey everybody, welcome. What we're going to do today, we're going to be talking about how to get a raise from your boss, right? Without even having to ask for anything, right? You don't have to tell them anything. You're just going to get a raise. How would that sound? Okay. And so, right before that, what we want to do, I'm going to play for you a simple testimony so that you can see how other people are already getting those raises as well from their boss, right? And this is our own Nick Woodard. And let's do it in three, two, and one.
Hey, what's going on, family? It's yours truly, Nick Woodard, checking in with you. Another amazing day. Hey, real quick, I want to just share my personal testimony on how my econ, the personal financial success company, has helped change me and my family's life, right? So before my econ, I was living not even paycheck to paycheck. I was living getting paid Friday to being broke on Monday, right? I had credit cards maxed out. I was in debt up to my neck and was clueless about money. So I was introduced to this opportunity by my personal mentor, Mr. Terrence Hill, the founder of the Financial Blueprint Academy, because we believe in giving people a financial peace of mind, right? And he shared this information with me, and based off the first strategy when it comes to cash flow management, I was able to legally adjust my W-4 form as well as my wife's, and we income shifted an extra $700 back into our household each and every month, right? And we took the new cash flow and put it towards our debt. And up to today's date, we have snowballed over $50,000 in debt at the government's expense, right? And on top of that, we have actually cash flowed just over $100,000 by applying these strategies. So I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to anyone you hear who is talking about personal financial success, representing my econ, because we're all about changing lives and we want to welcome you to the financial journey. Have a blessed one. Peace.
Hey, welcome back. So as you can see now, there's testimonies of tens and thousands of people over the years that are doing the same things, right? Because everybody wants to do a couple of things. They want to make sure that they have a great lifestyle right now, right? We want to, how was they say, live our best life now, right? And then in the second piece, we want to make sure that we have a great future lifestyle, because our goal, right, is to stay alive, right? So if that's the case, then we want to make sure that the retirement, the next step in our life, the next level in our progression, right, is going to be to a place to where we're comfortable, okay? Because the biggest things are right now is that the Social Security is not there, right? Some people say, well, maybe it is, then, but I believe no, they're already putting out the documents that are saying that, hey, you have maybe 75% of what you were going to get available, right? So what's happening? Because if there was trillions of dollars in debt, then sooner or later they're going to have to do what? Continually pull from that Social Security. And then the other things, there were pensions. Okay, those two things that people were dependent upon at one time. And pensions right now, they're few and far between. And even if you do get a pension, right, the biggest thing is that can you live on 4% of what you were making? Okay, it's hard enough to live on the money that 100% that you're making right now. Okay, so the things that we have to do, we have to make sure that the right now lifestyle is not zapping or taken away from the future lifestyle. And then also we got to try to make sure that the future lifestyle, right, doesn't cause us to live where we're just living on beans and rice for the rest of our time, right? Because you wasn't made, you're not placed here to do go to work and then pass away, right? You must have some type of purpose. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And see, when you're trying to and going after the raise that we're talking about without asking for the boss, the first thing you got to realize is how we're able to do that is there are four things that are in your way right now that are causing you to lose money. Okay. See, the biggest thing that we try to do, we try to go out and create or go get that bag, or, I'm going to do this particular thing and sell these particular amounts of products or services. And ends up happening, we have four things that are huge holes that are causing us to lose the money. Right. So if we're increasing the amount of money that we're receiving and we're not making that money, the income into cash flow, then it's, what's the point? Right. Because you can make a $2 million a year, right, and then have $3 million in expenses, right, and then you're basically a check to check person. Okay, you look good doing it, but you're still a check to check person. So it's better to have a $40,000 a year, salary or income, right? And then you're only living on 20,000 comfortably. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you get yourself in a position. And why we say you can get yourself a raise without asking your boss is because one of the things that's in your way is income taxes. We're going to talk about 4 things in the next 2 minutes that are getting in your way. Tax is going to be the first one. The other 3 of the silent income killers, we could say, right, I will be going over as well. So let's talk about the taxes. Realize they are taking away from you anywhere between 28 to 32%. If you're a W-2 worker, right, if that's the case, then you are making your budget on a budget that's 30% less than what you think you're getting. Right? Because if you're getting $50,000 a year and they're taxing you about 30%, right? Then you're getting home maybe 35,000 or so. But you're trying to budget yourself on a $50,000 a year salary, okay? Because when you fill out things like the home or an apartment or a car, right? They ask you what? They ask you your gross income. And we go, yeah, we can use our gross because we want to qualify for more, but we're only bringing home the net. So automatically that puts us into trouble, right? So what we have to do is, now that the taxes are our biggest bill and it's really unaccounted for, we have to go into debt, right? We go and grab a couple of things because we got to afford the car, the home, those type of things. And we also have to replace the 30% that's being taken away. Okay, so it'll be easier for us if we could get the 30% into our household and then use that 30% to get us out of debt, then use that additional money to do more things with, right? And so that's what we're talking about. So those are the 2 things out of the 4, and that's the income taxes, 30%, and then we go into debt. And then debt carries what? A penalty. That's called your interest rates. Okay. So you may have an interest rate of 4 or 5% if you got good credit, but hey, some people don't have good credit. So you got maybe 25, 30% interest on cars and things like that. So think about it. If you're getting a home, $100,000 house, right? And even if you have, decent credit, you still have to pay back $250,000 if you take it a 30-year period of time. You see what I'm saying? So $100,000 has become $250,000. So who is really making it there? Okay. So what we got to do is we got to get ourselves into a place to where our money that we have is making money. See, and that's another thing that we got to do, and that's inflation. Okay. Inflation rises about 4 to 6% every couple of years. A majority of our raises on the jobs, they're not equaling it. That's why people are crying and complaining. Not crying, please don't say, but they complaining about the amount of money that is paid per hour, right? They want to raise the minimum wage, right? And that's because inflation is way out of control with the amount of money that most individuals are receiving and the raises that they're getting. Okay. So first and foremost, you got to get those 4 things out of the way. And you say, Mike, that was 3. I heard you say inflation. I heard you say high taxes, income taxes. I heard you say debt. Okay. See, when you have all those 3 things in place, there's also the 4th thing. The 4th thing is less than adequate investing. Okay. Because all those things are zapping your dollars. Okay. You see, we are working from January to April just to do what? Pay taxes. Okay. And then we get into debt. Debt has a penalty, right? And then we have to pay back that penalty called interest. Okay. So that takes another third of our income. First third went to taxes. We worked just for Uncle Sam. Second third of our money went where? It went to debt, right? So what we got to do, we got to get ourselves into a position to where that eliminates it, right? We got to get to a place where we're getting that cash flow back into our household. And then the last third, you might say, well, Mike, I still got a third left, huh? So I'm okay. No, the last third is being taken away by the big business structures that are in place. Every month that comes around, there is something that is marketed to you that you need to buy. That makes us feel like we need to buy, not just want, but need to buy. Like January, right? It's the New Year's. February, got to get something for the significant other, right? March, that's springtime, right? So you got to get something started replacing that. Maybe we start doing some working out or what have you, but maybe some spring cleaning. April, then some people are celebrating Easter, right? We can go on and on and on and on, right? So you can go to November, December, and you can think for yourself that there's always something to do. Then that's not including your birthdays. We're not talking about anniversaries. You see, all these things are taxing, right? And so now all the money is gone. And so why do we do this? We hear people say, what? I'm robbing Peter to what? Pay Paul. Correct, right? So these things are ingrained. So what we got to do is realize that we need a structure that will get us out of the present structure that we're in. Okay. The present structure we're in is debt, high taxes, inflation, right? So we got to get into a high cash flow position, right? So now what we do is we start to work on three things. And the first thing we start to do is we make sure that you can get that raise from your boss without asking. So we show you how to use home-based business deductions so that you can turn your bills into business expenses. Okay, so let's think about it. You have internet service, you have travel, right? You have mileage, right? You have kids at